We have a lot to go through today. It's gonna be rock and roll, baby. Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Mary, and today we have to talk about the version livestream for version 1.6 of honkaistarrail. We're going to talk about the banners, the reruns, the new characters, and how they've been presented so far. We're going to talk about the new events and the gameplay updates that have been brought up as well, and any other funky announcements that may have been made today. Let's begin with the banners for version 1.6. For phase 1, we are going to have the 5-star characters Ruan, Mei, and Blade having his first rerun. This is interesting because this means we are beginning reruns in the phase 1 of the update, so that's really interesting. This means 2 reruns per patch. So more chances for me to pull Jingliu soon! For the 4-star characters of that phase, we are going to have Xueyi, March 7th, and Tingyun. It's a little bit interesting that they chose to put Xueyi in the phase 1 instead of phase 2 this time around. But you'll get why by the end of the video, I think. For phase 2, we are going to have the 5-star characters Dr. Ratio and Kafka. As for 4-star characters, we have Sushang, Natasha, and Hook. Let's now take a look at these new 5-star characters. First, we have Ruan Mei, Harmony, Ice. This is an interesting combo. We don't have that one yet. This is our first limited 5-star Harmony character, so I think this is very interesting. And she works quite differently than all the other Harmony characters we have so far. Her basic attack deals ice damage to a single target. That's nothing new, but her skill increases weakness break efficiency for all allies. Not to be confused with break effect. Her ultimate is going to create a field in which all allies get increased resistance penetration for all types, and once an enemy is weakness broken while in that field, they are going to be afflicted with a mark. On their next turn, the mark is going to take effect and it will prolong their state of being weakness broken. So that's going to like push back their next turn again, so that's really good to slow down your enemies actually. This mark, when triggered, is also going to inflict more ice damage. Finally, her technique is going to immediately trigger an effect equivalent to that of her skill at the start of the battle. When in simulated universe, her technique has some specifics. So after using her technique and entering battle, it's going to act as if the enemy's weakness was attacked, even if the character who started the battle does not have the corresponding type. A little bit like Silver Wolf's technique, for example. This is going to deplete the toughness of the enemy, and if it triggers a weakness break, it is going to go with the break effect of the attacker's type. So this means you're in simulated universe, you have Ruan Mei, you used her technique, and you're switching to Sela. And you're going to start the fight by attacking with Sela, who is a quantum type character. Let's say you're going against an enemy that doesn't have a quantum weakness here. Because you used Ruan Mei's technique, it's still going to deplete toughness from that enemy. And if you deplete the entire toughness because your Sela is just like too strong, and it causes a weakness break, it's going to go off of the weakness break type of the character with which you attacked. So in this case Sela, in this case Quantum, so it's going to trigger Entanglement. Another thing that is limited to Simulated Universe in her kit is that for every blessing possessed, the toughness reducing damage is going to be increased and is going to deal additional ice damage. They mentioned it at the same time as her technique, but it sounds like a talent to me. So I don't know if this is only relevant if you've used her technique, or if this is just a thing that she does if she's in the team. They did not peep a word about her technique, so I have a feeling that that's it. I do not know. So the main points with Ruan Mei is that she will be a character that focuses on weakness break and toughness depleting, so that's really interesting because that's not something that we've explored a lot yet in the game, so I think that's really funky. The other thing is she's going to be really good for a simulated universe. She has like 2 things in her kit that are limited to simulated universe, so that's cool. So main points: weakness breaking and simulated universe. She's going to be a character that is good in those 2 conditions. Next, we have the new 5-star character, Dr. Ratio. Dr. Veritas Ratio. Veritas Ratio. Something to do with the truth, okay? Imaginary type, following the path of the hunt, and his lore is that he's an evil college teacher. That's essentially it. Basic attack is going to deal imaginary damage to a single target. Again, nothing very special here. His skill is going to deal imaginary damage to a single target, but his talent makes it so that when using his skill, you may trigger a follow-up attack. So that's interesting, new follow-up attack character. Now the condition here for triggering the follow-up attack is that the more debuffs the enemy has, the more likely the follow-up attack is to be triggered upon using Mr. Doctor's skill. His ultimate is going to deal imaginary damage to a single target, I assume. They showed a single target, they didn't say it, but you know, the hunt. And it will inflict the target with Wise Man's Folly. I like that. Folly, it's a word in French as well. If a target with this status is attacked by an ally, it will trigger Dr. Ratio's follow-up attack. Finally, his technique is going to create a dimension that taunts nearby enemies, and when starting a battle inside of the dimension, there is a chance that the target speed is going to be reduced. The main points with him is that he's a follow-up attack character, which is really neat. I'm excited to see more follow-up attack characters because that's going to give more and more use to Topaz. He's also a character that is going to be good with debuffers like Welt, Pela, Silver Wolf, so this is really interesting. I don't know if DOTs are going to be included in that notion of debuff. I hope so, because that would be practical. In doubt, I'm going to assume not. He's going to be really good with Welt, Pela, and Silver Wolf, who are 3 Nihility characters that put a lot of debuffs. If you have Topaz or Topaz's Light Cone, I know that the Light Cone is going to put Tame, I think, on the enemies, so I think that counts as a debuff, so that can be good too. And with Topaz, who is a follow-up attack type of booster character, so that's interesting. But yeah, Imaginary, the Hunt, we don't have one of those yet, so that's going to be interesting. I'm excited to know what his Light Cone does, because I feel like it's going to be related to putting debuffs on the enemy, but we don't know yet. And now on to our new 4-star character, Xueyi. Xueyi, who is a judge of the 10 Lords Commission on the Xianzhou. I for real expected her to be a 5-star character. You win some, you lose some, but she is going to be Quantum Destruction, and I think we win. I think we win. I think she's going to fit right in with the Mono Quantum team. I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. Her basic attack deals quantum damage to a single target. We know that part, but her skill is going to deal quantum damage to a single enemy and 2 adjacent enemies. So her talent, I am not quite sure how it works, but I think I get it. When Xueyi and an ally deal damage to an enemy's toughness, stacks of karma are going to be accumulated for Xueyi. It's going to be a bottom counter like we have for a lot of characters. When the stacks reach an upper limit, apparently it's 8 in the demo that we've seen, she will launch a follow-up attack. So other follow-up attack, not a follow-up attack character, but follow-up attack possibility in her kit. I like that. Finally, her ultimate is going to deal quantum damage to a single target, and it will deal toughness depletion that ignores weakness type. The more toughness she depletes, the greater the damage. So that means she's going to be really good with Ruan Mei. Finally, her technique is going to be an attack that immediately triggers the battle. It will deal quantum damage to all enemies. A little bit like Su Shang's, Serval. You know the drill. The main points for her are that she sounds like a really good character to pair with Ruan Mei because of her toughness depleting thing, where the more she depletes during her ultimate, the greater damage will be. Next, she has a follow-up attack, which I think is very interesting. And lastly, there's not tons of multi-target damage in her kit, which is kind of something I've come to expect from destruction characters, so I was looking forward to her. I think that's fine. I think it's not a big deal. There's other parts of her kit that are just really cool, and she is a 4-star character, so she can't like be OP, so you know. And that's it for the characters in the 1.6 version. We're going to have a new Trailblaze Continuance. I still don't know what's the difference between a Trailblaze Continuance and a Trailblaze Mission. But it's going to be called Crown of the Mundane and Divine, which is also the name of the version. It's going to have to do with Ruan Mei, Dr. Ratio himself. It's going to be at the space station, so we're going back to the space station. That's going to be fun. We're going to get some new maps, and we're going to get a new boss. An Echo of War new boss. It's called Scaracabaz Swarm King. So if you haven't been doing your swarm disaster things like I haven't, I'm sure you're gonna have a good time with that guy. Let's talk about the events. We are going to have a little event called Critter Pick. This is Ruan Mei. This is March. This is the Trailblazer in a trash can. Big thing from this, Trace's thing. And Chat Bubble, it looks so cute. I love collecting chat bubbles. Essentially what we're going to do in this event, we are going to make little guys. I hope we get to keep one that can follow us at the end, like in Genshin. I want pets in HSR, that's what I want. We're moving on before I lose my shit. Next, we are going to have an event called Virtual Ascent Venture. It's going to essentially be a battle type event with trial characters, so that's always fun. I like those personally. I like trial characters. And the goal is going to be to gather the most points possible. So essentially every time you defeat the enemy is going to come back, but as you defeat them, you get more points and you want the highest score possible that you can achieve. Next, of course, we are going to have Gift of Odyssey making its return as always, because this is not Genshin. And after that, we are going to see the return again of Planar Fissure and Realm of the Strange, two great events. Essentially, if you don't know, Planar Fissure means double planar ornaments when you finish a simulated world run. Realm of the Strange, meanwhile, is going to be for Cavern of Corrosion, where you get relics. You're going to get twice the drops. After that, we are getting some new gameplay elements. This is really interesting. So we are going to see the addition of Simulated Universe, Gold, and Gears. So this is going to be a little bit like Swarm Disaster. It's not going to replace Swarm Disaster. What the footage they've shown, the interface looks a little bit similar to Swarm Disaster, but I think it's going to be a separate branch from my understanding. We're going to get to modify our dice. It's going to add the Path of Erudition, so that's interesting. And also there's going to be storyline elements where every run has a chance for a different storyline, I think. It's going to be interesting, more new permanent gameplay, so that's fun. Now, this is also a big chunk. We're going to see the addition of Pure Fiction, a new permanent game mode. First of all, at some point you get to have links for free, so that's fun, but it's not going to replace, but it's going to interchange with Forgotten Hall / Memory of Chaos. First off, there's going to be phases like Memory of Chaos. With every new phase, it's going to be new enemies, it's going to reset, and new Jade rewards will be available, just like Memory of Chaos. However, with the addition of this, they are changing the schedule for Memory of Chaos, so I think it's good news. The way that it's going to go from now on, we are going to have one cycle of Memory of Chaos. It will last 6 weeks instead of 2. 2 weeks after the beginning of that, a Pure Fiction cycle is going to start, also lasting 6 weeks, and after that, a new Memory of Chaos is going to start. However, as you can see, Memory of Chaos 1 and Memory of Chaos 2 are overlapping. The new Memory of Chaos won't make it so the old one is unavailable, so this gives more time to finish up your Memory of Chaos. I'm running out of it. I think this is great, honestly. I'm not against it. I never get to finish Memory of Chaos, because I think what happened is they noticed that it was starting to be a lot. You had to do Simulated Universe every week, you have to do Memory of Chaos every 2 weeks. Now they're adding more Simulated Universe stuff. I haven't had time to touch Swarm Disaster. 1, I'm scared. 2, I haven't had time. On top of that, there's always events and you're trying to spend all your Trailblaze power. It's a lot. So I think this is a very welcome change. And you still get a new thing every 2 weeks regardless, you know? So I think this is the best way to do it. I think everyone's going to be happy. No one's losing out. Great. On top of that, for Memory of Chaos, there's going to be new stages. They're going to add stage 11 and 12, so it's not going to end at 10 anymore. More rewards, I like it. Also, they are adding a Forgotten Hall autoclear function where the highest this applies is for stage 7, but stage 7 and below, you essentially will be prompted to start at this last stage that you finished with 3 stars last cycle. So let's say you did stage 6, 3-starred it, next cycle rolls around, you won't have to do 1 through 5. It will be like, hey, you can do 6 and it's going to unlock everything else, and you're like, yay. And this goes as high as stage 7. So even if you do stage 8, 9, 10 at 3 stars, the highest you can go with this function is stage 7. But I think this is a very welcome change because honestly I got lazy with MOC. Next, they're also going to lower the daily training difficulty. As you can see, new things we can expect. Logging into the game, dispatching an assignment, consuming 120 Trailblaze power will be 200. They're also going to do a thing, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work, they didn't give too many details, but if you are at a point of the game where you haven't unlocked certain bosses, certain like stages that you need to keep ascending your characters, they're going to be available for a limited time for you to challenge. And now, onto maybe the most important part of this whole thing, this.
When version 1.6's Pantaray event warp becomes available, every Trailblazer who has unlocked the mail feature shall receive, via mail, 1 limited 5-star character doctor ratio. That is to say, me.
What the fuck? I saw that on Twitter. It was so fucking funny, dude. It's probably still trending. I opened Twitter this morning. Glory to the almighty Shogun. I was like, what's going on? The other one that was trending was free ratio. I was like, why is he in jail? The other one that was trending was Genshin could never. And I was like, what's going on? And I was like, Wait, free ratio? No, they wouldn't. That can't be it. So, as a thank you to everyone for a couple awards that have been won recently by honkaistarrail, you may have seen in your mailbox at first for the nomination they gave out 800 stellar jades, and then when they won they gave out 1,600 stellar jades, so 10 pulls. So in total we got 15 pulls for nothing. But as a thank you for winning so many awards, they are giving out a free 5-star character where like it will be available for 3 versions in a row, not just one. It's not just like, well, you missed it, you know? It's like, no, you're gonna have from 1.6 to 2.1, knowing that the one following 1.6 will be 2.0, so that's 3 versions. That's 18 weeks. So that's, you have 3 months. You're going to have 4 months and a week to claim the guy. Does this lead us to the anniversary? I think so, maybe. I don't know, okay? You're gonna have so much time to claim this guy. Just to recap, the banners are going to be Ruan, and Blade, followed by Dr. Ratio and Kafka. We are going to get a new boss in Echo of War. We're going to get a new branch in Simulated Universe. I don't know how to call it. Golden Gears, a little bit similar to Swarm Disaster. We're going to get a quite major update to MOC and a new addition to it called Pure Fiction. We're going to get a free 5-star character. We're going to get new maps on the space station and little quality of life improvements, as usual. Let me know if this changes anything in your polling plans, because I might just pull Argentina out. I was like, oh, if I don't like the Dr. Ratio kit, you know, I'm gonna pull for Argentina. Now we're just getting a Dr. Ratio like for free. So I might pull for Argentina. Let me know if you're saving for Ruan. Maybe you're saving for Blade or Kafka. I almost kind of want to save for Blade, but maybe not. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this was a good time. Link to the version website, the version live stream, and the trailer will be in the description. And with that said, RedVyren out. I did it. Wahoo!